Today on Grow Up Level Up Sunset Selects, we are going to be reviewing the new Disney Pixar film Hoppers, as well as talking a little bit about what we've been playing. This is Grow Up Level Up Sunset Selects. Let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever in the world you are listening to Grow Up Level Up Sunset Selects for March 13th, 2026. This is your host coming into your ear holes, Samson, aka Samson XP. And of course, I am joined by the ever hopping Sir DRJM.
Wow. Boing, boing is all I can say.
It's been a little while. Last week, I think you missed our interview with David Andrews, top 6 at the Seattle Regionals, because I think you had to fight off a bear in your backyard or something. Or
there were bears, there were snakes, there were sharks being carried by birds, also all manner of things.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about that? Of course, today is our Hoppers review on Sunset Selects. On Sunset Selects, we like to give you the games that you should be enjoying in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. You know, those precious sunset hours. However, today we are changing it up and doing a recent movie that came out that somehow the stars aligned and Jordan and I both saw in a timely manner. And we're excited to talk about it because this one's definitely a special one. Of course, on Grow Up Level Up, we like to talk about the games that helped us grow up. Sometimes those games happen to be movies. And in Jordan's case, maybe a movie that his daughter might grow up with. So I'm excited to dive into all that as well. Before we dive into our Hoppers review, I just want to remind you that you can follow Grow Up Level Up on all the socials at Grow Up Level Up. Whoa, Grow Up Level Up. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing, make sure to subscribe, follow, do all the social media stuff over on YouTube and podcasts and our socials as well at Grow Up Level Up. If you really like what we're doing, I implore you to go to growuplevelup.com and treat yourself to a hoodie, because every hoodie or t-shirt sold buys Jordan and I one video game that we get to talk about. That's the idea, at least. But hey, if you don't have any bucks to toss our way, as they say, just a like, comment, share the episode. Maybe share this to your special someone to be like, hey, maybe we should check out this Hoppers movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, before we dive into all that, it's been a while since Jordan and I caught up, and I need to ask him, what have you been playing, Jordan?
Oh, man. I mean, it's tough. Life is tough, you know. There's a lot that I want to play. Okay, it's not that bad. I really want to be playing a lot of these new releases that everyone's raving on about. You know, you got your Mugenics, you got your Resident Evil 9 Requiems, you got your Pokemons, of course, big one there, Pokemon Pokopia, as well as what is it, Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, of course, we know that I don't have a Switch 2, so I wouldn't be playing Pokopia as much as I want to be. But you know, Leaf Green and Fire Red definitely piqued my interest, but unfortunately, I just didn't pick them up because, man, am I back on the Overwatch grind, and that is basically all I have been playing. I think about playing other games every now and then, and Overwatch just has its hooks in me again. Ever since that latest update, it's funny because it felt like a moment, right? Everyone was back into Overwatch. You and I played together. I played with, I took an early lunch at work one day to play on stream with some friends and things like that. Yes. You know, and it was the hot topic for the week, and then we moved on, but I didn't. So I'm still playing Overwatch. I think I had talked at one point about beating Expedition 33 before March. That did not happen. I probably have, I'm going to say 2 to 5 or 6 hours left if I want to go do some optional stuff, which I do want to do. But Overwatch, man, it's got in my soul. Yeah. So
it's true. It is in your soul.
yeah.
I will say I do still think about Overwatch daily. As we share memes back and forth.
Yes, true.
I haven't been playing it daily, but I have been keeping up, and there has been a couple of Fridays where I'm like, yeah, I'll hop on for Overwatch a couple games. Now,
Right on.
whether or not we end with positive experiences is to be debated. Meaning that if we end on a win or a loss. But
Right.
most of the time it's like, hey, this is a fun hero shooter to play with friends if you don't take it seriously, right?
Yeah.
So Overwatch is definitely in my rotation for now.
Nice.
For myself, yeah, same with you, Jordan. Like, there's just so much that I'm trying to get around to that I haven't gone to. Pocopia is the big one that's like, hey, great, it's the hot one. I have a Switch too, but do I want to spend 100 Canadian dollars on this life sim
is it really?
cozy game?
Is it really
It's up
$100
there.
bucks up here? Oh God.
Yeah. So that's a tough bullet to bite. However,
Yeah.
instead of 100 Canadian dollars, I spent, well, what equates to about 100, buying like 3 games: Eugenics, Slay the Spire 2, and Marathon.
Okay.
So those 3 games are in my rotation.
I can dig it.
Of the 3, I would say that Eugenics, surprisingly, I'm going to put down on the lower rung.
Okay.
Second is Slay the Spire 2, which I have already clocked in a few hours on. Okay. Enjoyed it. At the same time, I'm like, this just feels like Slay the Spire 1 with and I haven't tried the multiplayer yet. So impressions TBD.
Right.
The one that I'm excited to play after tonight's recording is actually Marathon, the new Bungie game. Marathon, like, my relationship with extraction shooters, I didn't really play Tarkov. I played Arc Raiders for like a hot minute. I get the idea. I get the appeal. And I think where Marathon has its hooks in me over something like Arc Raiders, like, I have friends who play both, right?
Right.
I want to say that what's keeping me coming back to Marathon is actually how simple it is compared to Arc Raiders.
I'm sorry. You think Marathon is simple?
The design, hey, okay, design UI, sure. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
But the actual package itself, Arc Raiders does like, here's your little city, upgrade parts of your city. Here's your workbench. You have to craft a workbench to make this thing to upgrade your character. And the skill tree is like, well, I will say the skill tree in Marathon's also pretty big. But there's lots of like little systems outside of the actual extractioning.
Right.
And with Marathon, we're diving into the Marathon impressions now. But with Marathon,
run.
it is,
because it's a marathon.
It is all about run. So funny. I popped into a friend's stream, friend of the show, Cookies of Duty, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been getting into Marathon." And then she said, "Oh, like marathon running." I was like, "No, the Marathon the game, Marathon."
That's funny.
And then yeah, like the overall package. Cheap is one way to describe it. Smart is another way to describe it, but it's very simple. The story is told through talking heads, text. It's all voice acted, and it's great. Everything looks beautiful, looks really cool. But really, you're just clicking around menus, and then the actual game itself is just the getting in, getting out. You run missions. Everything feels super smooth, super tight. So almost the simplicity of it. I am still just a couple hours in, like an hour or 2 in.
Sure.
Simplicity of it has me wanting it a little more than Arc Raiders.
Okay.
Also, we'll say Arc Raiders look stinky. You know, I don't like stinky games, Jordan.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, except for every card game and strategy game you play. But yeah, okay. Eugenics. And he says he doesn't.
Eugenics, yeah, okay. Well, there are exceptions. Arc Raiders look stinky. You're like in a desert. Everyone's dirty. Are there showers down?
Oh, did you say stinky?
Yeah.
I thought you said thinky, like TH.
Oh, thinky. No, stinky. Smelly.
Although Eugenics does look stinky as well. But anyways, go on.
Yeah.
Continue. Exactly. I understand now.
Marathon, the world, the aesthetic's very slick. It's like robots, clean, sci-fi. So that's also drawing me a little bit. Not ready to give my full impressions yet, but still enjoying the heck on Marathon. And I'm looking forward to doing like the little grindy bits. Right now, it's still like, go to North Tower A and hack it, and then you just have to find your way to sneak up there and then hit the E button long enough and then extract. So that's got me for now. But
cool.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I mean, because you mentioned it, and I had kind of forgotten about it, but I did actually stream some of the server slam they had before the launch. I think it was maybe the
Right.
weekend before or a couple. It might have been the week
It was
leading
the
up to
weekend
or
I was in
something like that.
Seattle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was right before I got sick. Um, and I was very impressed, first of all, with the visuals. I really, really, really dig the style and the look and the art direction of it all. Um, I talked about it on stream, but it's like the guns very much strike me as this weird, like they're realistic, but they've got this Lego quality to them
Yep.
where they're
Yep.
very blocky and the blocks are very colorful too. You know, you'll have a pistol and it has this big kind of rectangular cartridge on the side, but it's bright blue, like almost like my glasses here if you're a video watcher. And I really like that. I thought that was really cool. And, you know, as you mentioned, like the robotic sort of almost more neon punk than cyberpunk kind of look to things. And when you get shot, of course, you're like a robot. So there's like blue kind of splatter instead of blood. I loved all that. I did find the inventory management and everything to be a little overwhelming, but
Yes.
I don't know if I had realized what exactly the term extraction shooter meant. Having never played Arc Raiders and not really
Okay.
played anything else I could compare to it, I just kind of thought it was, you know, hey, it's battle royale, but it's, you know, 3-on-3 with some PvE. And I didn't really realize there was this whole other side to it. So it was a learning curve for me, and it did definitely turn me off a little bit. But since it released and seeing a lot of our friends and you know, other people in the community getting into it and the way they talk about it, and especially the way they talk about it when they group up, did make me be like, do I need to give this a second chance? So I'm still
Yeah.
a little on the fence, but I'm intrigued more than I was. So
It is a very different kind of game,
mhm.
but it is still a very like well-made game.
Yeah,
If that's a plus.
yeah,
Yeah, extraction shooters. I can't say I like it or not like it. Like
mhm.
I do find things I do like about it, which is
Mhm.
like, oh, it's not always about being the fastest and whatever. There
Right,
is a lot of tactical
right.
planning, communication, the prox chat, of course,
Hmm.
kind of element to it. And it is intense, and I'm still,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like, oh, there's the skill ceiling for this is so
right,
high that
right.
it's almost like, oh, I'm looking forward to getting to that level where I can extract, get in and out with all my shields and all my
Right.
guns and make it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. And if I don't make it there, that's okay too. I feel like I've
Cool.
gotten there's a lot there to do without being like the sweatiest of sweats kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Cool. Cool.
Marathon I'll be playing that later tonight for sure. So maybe more impressions
Hmm.
later in a later episode, maybe next week. Stay subscribed, stay following on everything.
That's right.
Of course, without further ado, I'd like to bring it back to the topic of the show, being Hoppers
Boy.
in review, as they say. Hopper's movie review will be spoiler free for most of it, I believe.
Sure.
I don't know if we want to dive too much into spoilers because
I think
a
it's so
lot of
new that I don't
yeah, it's so
want
new.
to
Maybe,
either.
yeah, we'll stay away from spoilers. If you haven't seen it, maybe we'll do a spoiler cast another day. I don't know. We got to find
Or
a couple
we'll
other
save the
hopperheads.
last few minutes, do like a 10-minute spoiler thing. We'll announce it before we go into spoilers if we decide to. How about that?
We'll go wavy arms.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Disney Pixar's Hoppers
Mm-hmm.
is a 2026 animated American science fiction comedy film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Pictures,
Wow.
directed by Daniel Chong, who's also known for what, Jordan?
I don't remember, but I remember hearing it today when I watched the Kinda Funny in review of Hoppers.
We Bear Bears.
There you go.
What it is, We Bear Bears was, I believe, a Cartoon Network cartoon television series.
Yeah.
A little slice of lifey,
Okay.
very silly. If you, I'm guessing you never watch We Bear Bears, then Jordan.
No, I did not. Oh, it looks cute.
If you just watch a couple clips on YouTube, watch an episode or two. They're like short. It's kind of Adventure Timey. It's from that era.
Okay.
But you will see, if you like the humor in Hoppers, you will. It's
Right.
100% We Bear Bears kind of humor, just like funny, lighthearted, with a lot of heart, kind of cartoon series. Daniel
Right
Chong
on.
was the creator of that show. I loved it. I think I watched all of it. And it stars Piper Curda, Bobby Moynihan, John Hamm, Kathy Ninjami, and Dave Franco.
Mm-hmm.
The plot of Hoppers follows Mabel Tanaka, an animal lover, transfers her consciousness into a lifelike robotic beaver to communicate with animals and to help them save their habitat from destruction, inadvertently starting an uprising.
Yep.
So, before we dive into our complete thoughts on Hoppers, I'd like to set the scene a little bit, okay? So, the day is what? Sunday this past week. I have like a movie group chat. It's me and my friends. We're always going to see whatever the latest movie is. And Hoppers has been on our list for like since the trailer came out.
Right on.
I of course I knew Daniel Chong's work, Pixar movie, of course, but something about this beaver, something about the running gag of the this into this, this into this was stuck in my head. That lizard at the end, just hitting the lizard button.
Lizard.
It's already been in our consciousness for like a year.
Okay.
So going into Hoppers, there's a group of like 8 or 9 of us adults, and the rest of the theater was children. We're like, oh,
nice.
We may have. Well, it's not a bad thing to go to see a movie with kids, but it's just funny because it's like parents, their kids. I think there was like a birthday party as well, so there's like 20 of them in a row. At like 4 p.m.
Okay.
So like prime.
If you went like 9:30, you went to like a closing showing, then it would have been a little more adult time, sure. But
yeah, but no, there's a lot of kids, and I will say, like the kids weren't the quietest.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, we're in a kids movie with a bunch of kids. Okay,
yeah,
I gotta cut them some slack.
Yeah,
I gotta cut me some slack. Like whatever, and it's like it's not like we're watching Interstellar or something where it's like a really sad scene. It's Hoppers. It's pretty funny, but there are some great scenes in there that that I won't spoil. But Hoppers was great. The theater experience very funny. It was also just funny, like being flanked in literally a packed theater full of children and us 8 adults.
Yeah,
also laughing with them.
That's a big group too. Like it's not like it was like you and your wife and like maybe 2 other friends. Like 8. That's a sizable chunk of a row. So
yeah, we were pretty much the whole row, and then like 2 families on the ends. Yeah, all of us childless adults. It was a scene. But we really liked it. I'll dive into that in a second. But Jordan, how was your experience going to see this show? Who'd you go with?
You know what? So a little bit of an interesting, well, no, actually not an interesting story at all. But the circumstances that I went under were not exactly ideal, not exactly what I'd hoped for. So I had really tried to get my wife and child to go with me on the weekend. And we just wound up having a busy weekend of doing other things, which included a couple of busy nights where my kids stayed up way too late. So then Monday rolls around and we had something Monday as well, so we couldn't go Monday. And so then Tuesday comes around and my wife was like, well, she had to work Tuesday night. So she said that I should just take the kid without her and have a little daddy-daughter date. So we did. And I was really looking forward to it. But after the busy weekend, after a couple of busy nights and everything, my daughter was just so wiped that I don't know that she had the best time. And of course, I'm like, I wanted to see the movie, but it's more fun when everyone has fun, right? And she was just, a little sluggish, not as excited as I felt like I wanted her to be. And so, just like that kind of brought me down a little bit. And mostly I was concerned with like, okay, let's get through this and then let's get you to bed because you need to get some rest. So, it wasn't super ideal. And I don't know, like, I honestly, I do feel like that affected my enjoyment of the movie a bit, although I still enjoyed it overall. And she said she really liked it too. But, again, I just do feel like, when everybody's up, it just overall increases the experience. So
Going in on a Sunday afternoon versus the what is it, like Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, we went on Tuesday at 6:30 and of course she was in school till 3. I worked till 5. So we're both a little tired and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah. All right. Well, however, even throughout that, it sounds like you guys had a good time.
We did enjoy it.
Uh,
Yes.
but why don't we dive into our thoughts on Hoppers
Yeah.
then? So with Hoppers, of course, like I said, directed by Daniel Chong. It is about a beaver. No, it is about a girl who, very much like Avatar, and they make this joke in the
Mm-hmm,
movie,
mm-hmm.
transfer their consciousness into the robot
Yep.
or into the robot beaver and then pretend to be one of the robots. So it's like right off the bat, it's like, okay, is this just going to be another Avatar? The humans are bad. We have to save
Save
our
the
forest,
environment. Yeah.
save the environment. And I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but I was pleasantly surprised at the message at the end, at the moral of the story.
Right.
Because it wasn't as straightforward as that. It was very, very, very nuanced, and I thought that was a pretty cool take on it, and also pretty well done. What were your overall thoughts on the movie, Jordan?
Yeah. Honestly, I went in having seen, I think, the original trailer and purposely not watched any other trailers. I find nowadays trailers just give away way too much, and I really don't enjoy it. So, like, even for Marvel movies nowadays, I will usually catch one trailer. It might not be the first. It's definitely not going to be the final trailer, because usually that's the worst one for it. But I try not to watch a lot of trailers so that I just go into these movies knowing sort of as little as possible. So I'll be honest. You've said it a couple times, so I don't consider this a spoiler. Plus, it's like the first 5 minutes. I didn't even know that she was transferring her like consciousness into a robot beaver. I thought this was like some real, like, she was transferring her consciousness into a beaver. Like, I thought it was
real beaver,
like a live animal kind of thing here. So I really didn't know what to expect. I was pleasantly surprised to see it's a little, I guess both options are sci-fi, but it feels more sci-fi when it's a robot beaver, right? So I was pleasantly surprised by that. But then, like you say, it starts off feeling, honestly, feeling a little obvious. And I was pleasantly surprised that this movie takes some turns. Things do not go as you expect. It is not simply a Pocahontas story, which, is how I viewed the first Avatar. I know that's, not something it's not something everyone agrees with, but I very much was like, this is the same plot. Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not just preachy. And it does seem like it's going to be in the first little bit where you think it's, hey, save the environment. But like I say, it's a lot more fun than that, I would say, honestly, which doesn't mean save the environment isn't fun, but it had potential to not be. And man, this goes places.
Yes. Yeah. It's so hard to spoil some of, or not spoil some of the surprises, because they are so great. And I think that's, if I were to pick one strength of the movie, I think it is our conversation so far. It is, you have no idea where this movie's going.
Really.
Like you could bet $1 million and you could not predict every single plot point of this movie. In good ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I know today, again, like I said, I watched the Kind of Funny review of the movie earlier today. And it's funny because that's actually something that Nick Scarpino kind of takes, I wouldn't say he takes issue with, but he also brings it up. And he compares it to Toy Story, Pixar's first movie, where Toy Story, simple premise. Toys come alive. That's it. This movie,
spoilers for Toy Story.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, if you didn't know that from literally seeing the cover of Toy Story, then I don't know what you're on.
Yeah. I'm just joking. Go on.
Spoilers for a movie that came out in what, 95, 98, something like that. Anyways,
gotta be 30 years. Yeah.
Don't say that. Yeah, but the point is, Toy Story, simple premise. This movie seems like it's going to be simple premise of, this in this, like you said. That's
this,
and quite literally
into this.
We keep saying that because they say it in the movie, right? They say this being human brain into this being beaver robot. And man, it's not that simple. It feels like a pretty big evolution of where Pixar movies, started, if you look at Toy Story. But I will also give Pixar credit for, I think even Toy Story is a story that does not, go exactly where you think, or it does take turns and things like that you don't expect. So Pixar's just so good at what they do.
Yeah, and I would say that this was after kind of like a not a dry spell of okay Pixar movies, but like of course all the Pixar movies are above average, but I think this is the one
Yeah,
since I don't know, Turning Red, I would say, and even then that's mixed reviews. I'd say this is the first
I
one
like
that
Turning
like
Red.
is a definite A tier, S tier Pixar movie for me.
We'll see
Um
about that.
oh, I don't know what he means by that. Uh but but the first strength of Hoppers, going back to it, is definitely like don't know where you have no idea where the story goes in
You
a good
don't.
way.
Yeah.
Definitely go see this if you want to know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
We are going to keep this review spoiler free, but in the last like 10 minutes maybe we'll dive into our favorite parts for those who
Sure.
have already seen the movie
Yeah.
and want to gush about it in the comments with us. Of course, if you agree, disagree, let us know in the comments below or in our Discord as well. Link in the description. If I had to pick a second strength in this movie, it would have to be the humor.
Mhm.
I don't think I've laughed this hard in a movie, like to the point where it's like I said in my Instagram story,
Mhm.
half the story or half the movie I was crying because it was so sad. The other
Mhm.
half I was crying because it was so funny, and I got that like feeling in my stomach that I was like laughing a little too hard, and I was starting to lose track of of the story of what's going on.
That's funny.
Um, there was something about just the timing of everything,
Mhm.
like that comedic timing was like there's so much of it throughout the movie
Right.
um, that is kind of hard to predict for.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to call this kind of pacing, but it's the kind that's like the punchline happens and it's so fast and it cuts, and that's also part of the joke.
Mhm.
There's
They don't linger on it at all.
no, they don't wait for you to like get it.
Mhm.
And there's like always a running gag with the animation where um Tom Lizard, the little lizard
Mhm.
character,
Mhm.
will just like everyone will fall into their place, and then for some reason the lizard's like a beat behind. He
Mhm.
pops up for like half a second, but then we cut into the
Yeah,
next
they don't even give
scene.
him his time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just constantly happens, or the camera's whipping around, and it's like Beaver 1, Beaver 2, the lizard for some reason, and then like the
Mhm.
main bad guy, and it's like stuff like that just keeps me on my toes. And I was like, oh, like there is some comedy chops going here.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is actually goes back to We Bear Bears, like that
That's what
kind of
I figured.
animation. Yeah. There is a lot of that humor. Was there any part of the humor that you liked, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that because I think this is where sort of the overall experience of the theater and everything kind of comes into play the most. Um, is I didn't feel like I enjoyed the humor and I did, find myself chuckling out loud a couple times. But I wasn't laughing until it hurt, and I
Okay,
certainly
okay.
didn't find it as emotionally touching as it sounds like
Mhm.
you did either. Um, there's some things very early on that you see happening and you know exactly where they're going. And I thought they did a good job of not pulling an Up, because we all remember the first 10 minutes of Up, which most of us probably skip right over now because that
Well,
that is peak Pixar. I'm going to make you cry with
yes.
literally zero words. And I thought we were going there. And again, we don't. So I did feel like it was handled differently, but it was handled well, right? They didn't need that in this movie. Um, but again, I do feel like being in an environment where maybe I was surrounded by people who, like you and your friends, were there to just there for a good time,
And the
and
100 children with
and the
us, yeah.
100 children exactly.
Yeah.
I do think that that would have maybe heightened my experience a little bit. Maybe I was just a little too concerned with you know my present situation and hey, let's get home to bed. Um,
Mhm.
but regardless, humor was very good. I do see this as a movie where I think if I give it a second chance, just casually at home on Disney Plus one day down the road, I will probably enjoy it more than I did on my first viewing. Um, which is honestly how I felt about like a movie like probably Luca too, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge Luca stan. I'm not a Luca hater. It was a good movie. But I remember watching it a second time when I saw it on somewhere or my daughter put it on or something like that and thinking, I didn't realize this movie was as good as it is. And I think I could probably see myself finding that about Hoppers as well. Now,
Okay.
all of that said, it's still probably in the Hoppers is still probably in the top half of Pixar movies.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I'll say for now. We'll get to my exact placement
We'll
later.
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Put a pin on that topic.
Okay.
Movies that are better a second time than the first time.
Right.
I forget. I had a similar experience with another movie. I think it was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
But
okay.
first time I was like, that was good. Second time I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is like genius.
I haven't watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I know I need to. And I know, like the year it came out, everyone did it win Best Picture? Everyone said it was freaking amazing.
Sure. Something like that, yeah.
And by all means, like revived Kei Kwan's career in a lot of ways. But anyways, yeah, that's one that I got to get to. I don't watch a lot of movies, honestly. But
my gosh.
anyways,
let's get in there.
Yeah.
Is there one more positive? I was gonna say strength, but that's like a work thing.
the easy strength that is the synergy with all the no, I'm just kidding. That was some corporate speech. The easiest thing to point to, and this is simply a fact of Pixar's lineage, is the visuals. Like it's just so hard to look at a Pixar. I don't think anyone could look at a Pixar movie and say that doesn't look amazing. And for a long time, I think Pixar had a huge edge on something like DreamWorks, even something like Disney Animation Studios. I think both have probably caught up in a lot of ways to Pixar. I can only imagine there's a lot of talent sharing amongst them all. Someone works on a movie and then jumps over to another studio and works on a different movie. But regardless, I do still think Pixar is probably the best out of the three. And this movie is chock full of water, of course, because beavers. But they also do some really amazing stuff with sort of the forest and the grassland areas, where there's some shots with sort of, I don't know how to describe it other than heavily grassy areas, and a lot of pine trees and things like that. And I don't know if everyone notices these kind of things, but I have always just been like, side note, but it's related. I remember watching the special features on the Monsters Inc. DVD on repeat and just learning about Pixar animating the snow particles landing on Sully's fur when he is in the town with the Yeti or Bigfoot, whatever they call him.
Yes.
And I remember just being fascinated by that. And then when Finding Nemo came out, watching the special features about animating the underwater scenes and the particles that float in water, because water isn't just clear, especially in the ocean. And there's debris and everything. And like, I've always found that, ever since I was young and watching these things, I watch Pixar movies and like, I'm just fascinated by, look at the grass, look at the water, look at the, the mud. There's a lot of mud because if you didn't know, a beaver dam and a beaver lodge are made with a lot of mud. And it just looks so good. So that's definitely something I would shout out.
Shout out to the visual style of this movie. Like I think for this one, it's the fur, right? The fur of all the different kinds of creatures, the length of them, the way they like behave in, and this is like very video game talk, but like how water interacts with them, how they interact with each other. Like that, I think that was the selling point here for this movie. All the different kinds of animals in there and their fur.
And also, like, it's funny that you say that because that was another thing that I did notice that I forgot to mention was you see a lot of differences with one beaver sitting literally next to another, and one has just come out of the water and one is completely dry. And you can see a very clear difference in the texture of their fur. And again, especially now that, we've mentioned robot beaver, you can tell a difference, being the audience, obviously. You can tell a difference between the real beaver fur and this, what is meant to be synthetic beaver fur on the robot. And
sure.
I just found that to be so cool in some of the scenes with sort of the two main beavers. So
two main character beavers.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. Yeah, that is such a cool, like, man, these engineers, Shout out to
Dude,
them. Engineering crazy graphical power.
watching all those special features as a child, like there was a time where I wanted to go into game development, and there was a time where I wanted to work at Pixar and be an animator. So
Yeah.
how did I end up on this path of IT project management? I don't know, but it's lame compared to those two. So
never too late, as they say, but definitely
maybe
trickier.
Yeah.
Grow up, level up. Yeah, I think on top of the visual style, I think what sold it a lot was the sound, the audio mix, like the sound design.
And you're an audio guy,
Many
so
points.
Of course, you would notice that.
Of course, yeah. You know that. I mean, like as well, like all movies have it, but this one was a little on the nose because slight spoilers, but they literally tell the main character, and I guess the audience as well, like shut up and listen, like just be quiet and listen, and it paints this like this wonderful landscape of just natural nature sounds, animals, birds, the water, that like pitter patter, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can, even if I close my eyes and don't look, I can see this in front of me, and I can relate to like being in nature like this in real life. So I think that also helps kind of with the setting of the movie. The whole movie itself isn't like, what is it? Well, like a big superhero movie epic. It does take place in like really a couple locations, like 2 or 3. So the way they were able to separate all that and give everything its own identity, really cool job.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like the simplicity but nuanced story it is, right? The plot. I think my last positive for this movie, it's going to be a weird one, Jordan, but as we're talking about it, I think it actually is going to be the kids in my theater, because everybody was so into it.
That's good.
Like, sure, you got the ones that were like chatting. There's a kid behind us. I think they were also as hyped for this movie as we were. They're probably more hyped because there are parts from the trailer. And the kid behind would say the line like in the trailer. And I thought that would kind of like,
Samson, we call that autism. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very.
I'm like, at first I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, it's like this might get annoying, but halfway through I'm like, wow, it's actually quite impressive.
Yeah,
you memorized all this.
I mean, is it possible they had seen it? Did you see it on opening day?
No, this was a couple days after. No, maybe. It was selectively the scenes that were in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
So I think they were actually they've
been watching that on repeat on YouTube.
They're just excited. Yeah. And like a couple of the kids, like, and I think that also helped with my experience because like when funny things happened, like the entire theater popped off.
Oh, that's nice.
Kids and parents, and like the kids in the front rows would be like repeating some of the jokes to themselves, snickering to each other. And I'm like, I can't be mad.
Yeah.
I'm the adult here. I came here on a Sunday afternoon. This is my own fault.
Shut up.
Yeah. He's like, this is a very serious movie about talking beavers. Okay. So shout out to the kiddos. I liked it.
Yeah.
And just last strength, I guess, one more is I think the story is a very nuanced take on the whole man versus nature.
Yeah.
What's our role here? Kind of story. So I think they did a really good job with that and had a really good point. Yeah. And something that I definitely agree with. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. I mean, one last thing I'd say about the movie overall, sort of in a similar vein to you, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, is the movie starts and it feels like they might go a little preachy, and take that as you will. I know a movie like WALL-E and a movie like Up, some people find is a little too preachy. Up obviously focusing on the beginning, but I know a lot of people don't like WALL-E because it's very clear what the message and the moral of the story is with that movie. And this feels like it's verging on similar territory, especially in the start. And I did not find that it was anywhere near as preachy as a movie like WALL-E. And I don't like that, saying that, because I love WALL-E. It's actually probably in my top 5 Pixar movies. But I think I've heard people say that it's too preachy. And this movie, again, you know, it's pretty obvious that it has some conservationist efforts in the beginning and everything like that. But yeah, it approaches everything nicely and still maintains that level of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's a very like new. I said the word nuanced already, but I think it's a very almost applicable, like in today's day and age, take on what our role is as and this is kind of spoilers, but plug your ears if you want to. Like what our roles are as people and what how we should view nature and how we should take care of it, which is what we were kind of hinting at. I liked where they ended off with. I think it's something that is more like applicable, not like Wall-E, where it's like,
it's
hey,
a realistic
avoid being
approach.
fat. Avoid being like fat space people. It's like, okay, I'll try, I guess. I still have to go to work tomorrow.
I want to be a fat
but this one is
space
definitely
person.
something.
They had it made.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it looked pretty good. like I'm not complaining. but yeah, for this one, it's definitely something that like you can honestly like take the message of this movie and then like start talking about it with other people. Like, what does this look like? What for myself, right?
Yeah. Well, and especially without spoilers and without going too preachy, there are some very direct parallels to certain things that have happened in the United States. Especially towards the end of the movie. So yeah. Anyways.
So final thoughts, Jordan. I was gonna say, do you recommend folks go see this movie?
Yeah, I definitely would recommend going to see it. Again, I have to put some of my damper on the movie on, the overall just circumstances I found myself in.
Sure.
Because I did come out of the movie and think I could have watched that on Disney Plus.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily think that was the movie's fault. Again, I think it was life. It was being tired. It was, should have eaten a better dinner or whatever beforehand. And my daughter not feeling great and wanting to, get her to bed and everything like that. It sounds like your theater experience was much better and would have vastly improved how I felt about the movie. So,
yeah,
but I still recommend it.
Watching movie with 100 kids is how I plan to see every movie going forward.
Awesome. Wuthering Heights with 100 kids.
Wuthering Heights. Oh no. Yeah, I can totally see that. Regarding Disney Plus, yeah, I totally think like if you can't make it to the theater, it's not the end of the world. Like this is not necessarily like a big sound, big movie kind of movie, anyways. But yeah, if you can only catch it on Disney Plus or streaming or on a DVD at a bargain bin, I still think this movie is worth watching and enjoying with whoever. My final thoughts are that I think this is the funniest movie I've seen in a really long time. I liked the story and the message and the whole world it built. Like, I have folks in LA right now, and I'm like, can you stop by Disney and see if they have the plushies? Like, Disney always got to sell a plushie to me.
Yeah.
So I like the movie that much that I want to own a little Tom Lizard stuffy. But awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend you see this if you can in theaters. Go in a theater with 100 kids, I guess. not on a Tuesday night. that might be a little tough. But yeah, and then on Disney Plus, I'll make sure to watch it again. It is very, very fun.
Cool.
I will say though, for young kids, this is all right. Do we want to dive into spoilers? No, we'll dive into spoilers at the end. Go see this movie in theaters. Now, Jordan, you told me to do a little quiz right before this show. Can you explain what we're doing?
Yeah. So, do you have the URL handy or not? If not, it's not a big deal.
But I can dig it out. I have my results though.
Honestly, I've used this tool before, and if you just Google like Pixar films ranking or something like that, I think that's what I Googled for it. I believe the website is like sort.io. And sorta.app/q/1061. I was so close. And when you find this, you can basically find this for anything. I think I first did it for Marvel MCU movies. So I did this for Pixar, and basically what it does is someone has created a checklist of every Pixar movie, and it's going to ask you, you can only pick one. Here's your two options. So Samson, for video watchers, has it on screen. And right now it's showing Finding Dory versus Toy Story 3. So it's as simple as you click on the one that you think is the better movie. So Samson clicks on Toy Story 3. Now it's going to give us a new comparison. And then now it's giving us Coco versus Wall-E. Samson picks.
Tough one. Tough one. Oh, I got to do Coco.
Samson picks Coco. And it's just going to cycle through all of the Pixar movies. And essentially what it's doing is it's ranking them in order of what you pick. Now, of course, you might say, well, I only got to vote for Coco once. Well, here's what it's going to do. As certain movies, as you pick them more often, it's going to compare them against those other movies so that it, in theory, finds a balanced and, an accurate ranking of your favorite films. So now we have Toy Story 3 versus Wall-E. Of course, we saw both of these before, and Samson picks one. So now you know that one is going to be higher in the rankings versus that other one. And there's like a progress bar at the bottom that shows you how far in you are, with there being only 28 Pixar films in this. They are missing 2. They're missing Elio and Hoppers. But with there only being 28 in this, I think this took, I don't know, less than 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to get through.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool thought experiment as well. And like just to see for yourself where you're at as a
exactly.
person.
And it kind of helps me a lot because I look at a list of 30 things and I'm like, I can tell you which are maybe my top 5, maybe my top 10. But after that, it gets kind of muddled. And so this just kind of helps you sort through those. Now, once my list was done, I did look at it and go, I'm rearranging the 12 through 19 because I wasn't happy with how it turned out. And I did look at some of those and go, I like this movie better than this movie. So I just, cut and pasted them, rearranged it a little bit. But
okay.
Regardless, I told Samson, I just did this and I have now picked where I'm going to put Hoppers. You do the same. So I don't think we need to go through our whole list. I would love to hear maybe do you want to share your top 5, your top 10? What do you think?
Why don't I share my top 10 just to give us some wiggle room, right?
Okay.
So I did the whole, like Jordan said, I did the whole thing. My top 10. I'll start 10 to 1. 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Perfect. Okay. I love
10
it.
10 to 1.
The suspense.
Number 10, Cars 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm a little shocked. It's a little high too. Maybe I need to redo this because I feel like I should move
now
around.
Look, I'm a Cars 3 defender. I like Cars 3 better than both of the other Cars movies. I think it's actually a pretty good movie. That said, it's not that high on my list. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, I feel like the list went kind of funny there because I put like Toy Story or Monsters University above it. Anyways, number 9, Finding Nemo.
Okay.
Number 8, Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Number 7, Inside Out.
Okay.
Number 6, Ratatouille. Number 5, Coco.
Okay.
Number 4, Cars.
Okay.
Number 3, The Incredibles.
Okay.
Number 2, Toy Story 3. And number 1, Turning Red.
Turning Red is your number 1. Wow. Okay.
I loved Turning Red, man.
Okay.
Like it was like part of it is also like, okay, it's like a coming of age story, which I really like. The boy band thing was tastefully done. Yeah, it was K-pop. It was like about the Chinese American Canadian experience. So I'm like, this is like very, very relatable. Like I, like that mom in the movie is my mom. Like that's
fair enough.
So
cool. Okay,
Jordan, what about you? Yeah.
Well, I was going to say now before you tell us where you place Hoppers, I want to share mine, of course. Now, a little bit of an interesting fact here. Only 4 of the ones you mentioned are outside of my top 10. And one of them is literally number 11. So,
okay.
Call it 3-ish.
Yeah.
Overall, I rank a number of mine higher than you do. But and a few of them are pretty far out of my top 10 for some of yours.
Okay.
So let's start at number 10. My number 10 is Turning Red. So that's fun. I definitely, and keep in mind, there's 28 movies here, of which I would say 3 are bad. So anyways, I definitely think, like, honestly, number 20 onwards is good movies. I'd even say
onward
mention. I'd even say 20 through 1 is all like great movies. And then like 20 to 25 is still good. And then 26, 27, 28 are not
we
great.
should do a real tier list
Anyways,
one day.
Yeah.
I'll pencil that in as well.
Absolutely. Okay. So my number 10 is Turning Red. My number 9 is Inside Out 2. My number 8 is Inside Out. I'm a big fan of the Inside Out movies. I think they're both very well done. Number 7 is the original Toy Story. Number 6 is Up. Number 5 is Toy Story 3. Number 4 is WALL-E. Number 3 is The Incredibles. Pardon me. Number 2 is Finding Nemo. And number 1, my favorite Pixar film, is Monsters, Inc. So,
I can't argue with that. I love it.
There you go.
I think you got a solid list. I think if I could, I would squeeze Toy Story in that top 10.
Yeah.
And Monsters University as well. I think that's underrated.
Okay.
Something about frat boy culture is really funny to me.
I mean, I get it. I probably rank Monsters University lower than a lot of people do, simply because Monsters Inc. is my favorite Pixar movie. So Monsters University had a lot to live up to, and I don't think it reached those heights. So I probably dislike it more than a lot of people. It's pretty low on my list, but
fair.
Regardless, still
so
a good
much
movie.
of this is also like time and place you saw these, right?
Absolutely.
Finding
were a frat
Nemo,
boy.
Bug's Life. Yeah, but I mean, I gotta check the release here. It might line up actually. How many house parties to release year? It'll make you upset. But Up is like number 25 on my list.
Wow.
I did not care that much about Up.
Oh man, that's wild.
Other than the first 15 minutes, like that was crazy. And then after that, I'm like, this old guy's grumpy. This kid's just trying his best.
Yeah.
And now there's a talking dog.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I haven't rewatched Up in quite a while. I think, like you say, I think time and place, it might be lower on my list now, but that's how I was feeling today, and a lot of these, some of these movies could definitely shift places on any given Sunday, right?
We got to do a real official list. Maybe we bring on some folks for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're placing hoppers on here. Of course, we're missing Elio on this list. I didn't watch it.
I didn't either.
I'll watch it eventually.
Yep.
So it doesn't exist. But we're putting hoppers on this list. I don't know. Do you want to go first, Jordan? Should I go first?
Okay. I think yours is.
If you're confident, I might need to do a little.
Yours is no doubt going to be higher than mine. I mean, it's clear that you enjoyed the movie more than me. I put hoppers squarely at. And I'm going to say this is out of 30. I'm going to just put Elio in the 30th spot because I haven't seen it. Sorry, sure. Elio. I'm sure it'll move one day. But if it's in the 30th spot, that means Hoppers is going in the 16th spot. So it's dead center, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And again, that 11 to 20 range, these are still really good movies, and then 20 to probably 26 are good movies. And then after that is... So yeah, it's kind of right in the middle. That does put it, just because we didn't share our full lists, that puts it right after Toy Story 4 and right before Finding Dory for me.
Okay. Hey, that's kind of what my 16 and 17-ish is. Yeah, Toy Story 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, Finding Dory is way lower than mine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
People,
my placement.
I think people hate on Finding Dory too much, but again, that's another conversation.
I just saw it with an X, and
it's
forever tied to that. So
awkward.
Unfortunately, can't put it that high.
Fair enough.
Let's see. I'm gonna put it. I still think it's early to say it's a top 10, but looking at this list,
if you're feeling it,
it's up there because how I score things is like, would I be willing to watch this movie again on my own?
Right.
Would I be willing to share this movie with others and rewatch it, kind of thing?
I like that.
I'm going to put this at number 9.
Okay.
Bumping down Finding Nemo.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Finding Nemo so good.
I said it out loud, right? But Finding Nemo so iconic. But I also feel like that's also because it's been...
true. It stood the test of time. Will Hoppers? We can't know.
Exactly. And to be fair, I was going to say one's like a very nature forward story. Finding Nemo is that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Both have similar animals actually at certain points.
Anthropomorphic animals. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for now, I'll put it above Finding Nemo, but under Monsters Inc. I think
Okay.
Monsters Inc. still has that dynamic that I really like. The world
Mhm.
is definitely more interesting, but I
Yeah.
think the message, I guess, about conservation,
Mhm.
our roles as people, and like
I mean,
family and working together, I think it's a little stronger in Hoppers. But
it's fun.
maybe
It's
they'll come
funny
back.
that you bring up the message about conservation, because what was Monsters Inc. about ultimately? It was about saving energy, right? It was
Oh
about an
my
energy
gosh, yeah.
crisis. So
Right.
it's just kind of a funny parallel. But
That
anyways,
is wow. Look at all these movies with morals.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think I'll put it as my number 9 for now.
Okay.
But
I
I think I
dig
got
it.
to redo this list. But I'm happy with my top 10. I have to redo the middle section. I think
Fair.
it's a little
That's
off.
what I had to do too. Honestly, like I said, it was literally 12 through 19. I had a screenshot and I was just cutting and pasting and shuffling these things around.
Okay.
So
All right. We'll do an official Pixar list
cool.
one day.
Cool.
Pencil that in.
Yep.
Now, Hoppers, we already gushed about it for like the past hour. I want to dive into some of our spoilery thoughts. So
Sure.
we'll end the episode here. If you're leaving now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see Hoppers, And then once you're done seeing Hoppers, come back and listen to this last like 5-10 minutes. If you didn't know, my name is Samson XP, aka Samson XP on all the socials. You can follow at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials as well. Sir Dr. JM, where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials at Sir Dr. JM. That's Sir DRJM.
And like we said earlier in the show, if you liked what you heard, listen to, make sure to like, comment, share this episode, whether it's on YouTube, podcasts. And if you really liked it and want to support our show, go to growuplevelup.com and treat yourself to a hoodie and or t-shirt to support our game buy-in habits. Before you go, next week we'll be back with an episode more focused on video games, probably talking about my experience on Marathon and Jordan's experience on ? You'll have to come back and say subscribe to find out. Now,
that's right.
You may leave or you may stay and listen to our spoiler thoughts.
Wavy arms for spoilers.
Wavy arm for spoilers.
Going
Leave if you haven't seen Hoppers yet.
Yeah.
If you have, come back. Welcome back. Spoilers for the movie. I don't want to dwell too long on this because we could like break down the entire movie one more time. But I just want to say, what was your favorite part, Jordan?
Okay, so full spoilers, right? The cap is off.
Full spoilers. Full spoilers.
And you know what? Honestly, again, like you say, it's a new movie. I don't want to spoil too much. Should we like try and keep this under like 5 minutes? Like I'll just share mine, then you share one. So my favorite part is probably the sequence when this is going to be just a wild sentence. When all of the animal kingdoms decide to summon the apex predator.
Okay.
And fast forward a little bit from when they summon that apex predator. And then there's a car chase sequence where you have the scientists who, built the hopping technology chasing after the main protagonist who's inside the beaver.
The mayor, I think.
Inside a car who is holding hostage the mayor of the town.
Yeah.
And then the the birds from the animal kingdom fly in carrying the apex predator, which turns out to be a shark. And that whole sequence, I just thought was an absolute riot. Just the creativity behind, the animal kingdoms decide to squish the humans, and they want to squish the mayor of the town. His name's Jerry. And in order to do that, they summon an apex predator. And from the moment they said that, I was like, oh my God, what's it going to be? My mind, because we had already seen a bear, my mind went to wolf. But I was like, unless it's like a dire wolf, that doesn't really make sense. So I was like expecting a lion or something, like something totally out of the blue to appear.
Yeah. Cougars are in forest.
But then, they surprised me with a literal shark being held up by like a number of almost like pelican type birds. So yeah, that was probably my favorite sort of sequence in the movie. Was that whole bit with the apex predator was just hilarious. So
So how dare you steal my answer? Because
Oh, is that the same?
my favorite part as well.
That was great.
Ever since the whole movie's ridiculous.
It
But
is.
since they announced like the council was a one-liner until like 20 minutes later, and it was like, oh, the council is like actually all the animal kingdoms.
Yeah.
And I think after that, it just slowly keeps on like ramping up to like ridiculous levels. Not to the point where it's, well, I don't know. It's still grounded in the universe, what could happen, but like, man, it just keeps getting crazier, because we didn't even talk about the finale sequence, but the shark, the birds diving into water, and I'm like, are they like picking up fish? They're gonna drop fish on them, and then picking up the shark, and the shark is a whole character on its own, chasing. And then my favorite part was when the mayor says, "Oh, I get it. I'm dreaming."
Yeah.
And then lets go of the wheel.
Let's go of the wheel.
It's just about to like, and be like, dude, this guy's gonna die. This guy's just giving up. That whole thing was like so unexpected, but also can only work in a Pixar movie like this, or in a cartoon.
No, I totally agree. And again, I'm not going to gush too much, but I do love, again, this comes back to just the creativity that Pixar has. And like, you think about it, going back to a movie like A Bug's Life, right? Literally the second Pixar film, where they took the ants as one faction and then the crickets as the other. And here they kind of said, hey, we have the whole animal kingdom. What would the main sections of the animal kingdom at large, outside of just this forest, be? And they came up with mammals, who are led by a beaver, which is like hilarious, because really a beaver. But then you've got the insect kingdom, you've got the amphibians, you've got reptiles, you've got birds or aviaries, and then fish, right?
Fish,
And it's kind of like, I just, it would be so interesting to, be a fly on the wall in those discussions, or, look at that whiteboard where they were initially concepting, hey, what are the animal kingdoms? What should we use? What would make for a good movie and a good dynamic to obviously service the plot as well, because it really does in more ways than one, without spoiling, even some other major events. So
save some for the sequel too.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah.
I read this off of Reddit, so it may not be true, but apparently there were going to be multiple apex predators in the movie.
Oh,
but they only had the time and resources to fit the one.
Okay.
So plans for multiple apex predators were in the thing. So I'm like, okay, maybe
interesting.
Maybe in the sequel we'll get something. We'll get something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny that was also your favorite part, because
I mean,
when that happened, that was the part where like my sides hurt, because it was, and I was having trouble paying attention, because it was so funny. And they keep doing little bits of it too, and it's like a lot of that little like lizard thing like plopping on the windshield for half a second, and it's just like, the intensity just doesn't stop in the movie.
Totally.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our review / slight spoilers for Hoppers. Go see it in theaters. We enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, next week we'll be back with gaming related impressions, maybe about Marathon 2 weeks in, maybe about Jordan's Overwatch addiction. Maybe we'll talk about One Piece TV show as well, because we have to touch on that. I need to watch it. So make sure you stay subscribed for that. Once again, this has been Grow Up Level Up. You can find us at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials, and stay subscribed, because we enjoy yapping in your ears each week. Jordan, do you have any wise words to close out our show today?
When you gotta eat, eat.